Good morning, people, thriving warriors, and those who wish they're thriving warriors. Alexa, what is the date and time?
It's Friday, April 22nd, 2022 at 6:18 a.m.
What's the weather like?
Right now in Toronto, it's 49 degrees Fahrenheit with cloudy skies. Today's forecast has clouds and showers with a high of 68 degrees and a low of 46 degrees.
Okay, hence the outfit I'm wearing, which is what? Jacket type thing. Okay, so it's Friday. Hooray! Or it's Friday. Damn, where did the week go? You choose. Another week down, another week gone from the rest of our lives. When are we going to start doing things to make it worthwhile? That's the question. So we're here to help you get from point A to point B in your life, and point B is much better than point A. However, once you get to point B, what you get is now what? So let's see, a quick little story. About 20 some years ago, I think it was Fortune magazine, did an interview of somebody who had become successful. I think it might have been Richard Branson. And they said, the author said, let's pretend it's Richard Branson. Richard, if you could go back 20 years and give yourself some advice, what would you say to yourself? The 20-year younger version of you as you were making your way. He said, well, what I would tell my younger self is when you get to the top of the mountain, there's nothing there. There's nothing at the top of the mountain. What does that mean? Well, the mountain is the climb from point A to point B. It's where you want to end up. So Richard Branson, again, saying it's Richard Branson, said, when you get there, there's nothing there. You know, you expect that when you get there, there's going to be a celebration, parade, festival, whatever. And he's saying, no, there's nothing there. Then he continued to say, the advice was, it's the journey up the mountain that gives significance. It's the journey up the mountain. So what does that mean? That means between point A and point B, it's the things we do. It's not the expectation of what happens at point B. There's a Jordan Peterson lecture that says when you get to point B, you're going to say, now what? And then you're going to look for point C. So the example Jordan Peterson uses, you go through all of the things you need to do to graduate from college. You graduate from college, it's really cool for a little while, and then it's like, now what? Now I go get a job at Starbucks? So it's the journey. And the question is, on this Friday, the last day of the regular work week, what have you done this week on your journey up the mountain? That's the question. What have you done? And then the follow-up question would be, okay, cool. What are you going to change? What are you going to change? When are you going to adopt the Navy SEAL maxim of yesterday was the only easy day? So in our career services department, the first thing you got to do is figure out, where do I want to go? Because if you don't know where you're going, any path will take you there. You are what is called, in the law school I went to, rudderless. You're just going along with the current. And you could end up in a place that you did not intend in the slightest, like prison, as an example. That reminds me, acknowledgement to Jason Thomas for actually taking an idea that we had for a while, the that's kind of a self-evident thing and turning the idea into something real. And that is now working with, helping support Samaritan House and their mission to help people not go back to prison. So yesterday we got our first person, Levi, welcome aboard, who is here from Samaritan House. And then today Andrew's coming in. We also got somebody from the Federal Bureau of Prisons, thanks to Eric Harris, that Jason got. And we expect to be getting a lot more people. So what does that mean? Well, our goal is to help people move from point A to point B. If you're already at point B, then there's nothing we can do for you, right? There's no reason to be with us if you are already at point B. And especially if you don't have any interest in getting to point C. Because we're here to help people move forward in their life. We're not a housing program. So if your interest is housing, that's cool. That's great. Let me know so I can figure out how we can help you down that path. If you want to move up, so if you want to have a life, if you want to cultivate a life of meaning and purpose, this is going to be the place for you. That is our commitment. That is our reason for existing. If you feel you've already made it, great. Now you need to make room for someone else. How do we know that you want to go from point A to point B? Well, you can click on the links that are in the description below, fill out the forms so we know a little bit about you and what direction you're going, so that we, meaning me, will then contact you for a one-on-one. Could be on the phone, depending upon how easy it is for you. Could be at my office, aka Panera on Rancho near Sahara, could be there. But to have a one-on-one with you to figure out where you want to go, why you want to be to get there, who you need to become to get to that point B, and then hopefully help you get to point C and D, and help you cultivate a life of meaning and purpose. And our starting point, or the second place, is you have to have work that's stable, meaningful, and at a livable wage. So is working at 7-Eleven, does that fit the criteria? Is it stable? Yeah, 7-Eleven is stable. Is it meaningful? Kind of depends, right? A lot of people go there because they have nowhere better to go. It's not really meaningful. It's like, my life sucks, but I can get a job at 7-Eleven. So for them, it's not meaningful. There's no meaning. Now, if a guy wants to own a 7-Eleven, if you're like Chin, who came as a young girl from Korea, the idea of owning a 7-Eleven was like, wow, I could go from playing in the dirt with spent rifle or bullet casings. I can go from that to owning a business in America. Wow, that's the American dream. That's very meaningful. Is it livable wage? Well, kind of depends. So our definition of livable wage is $20 an hour. Because at $20 an hour, you can save money. There's a lot of things that you can do if you're making at least $20 an hour that you can't do if you're not. You can really develop your credit. For example, you have the ability to buy a house. Pretty hard to buy a house if you are earning less than $20 an hour, unless you are living with some other people and you're sharing the bills. And so you take the combined income of the house and it gets to be pretty significant. So, one, what do you want to do? Two, how employment that's stable, meaningful, and livable wage. So If you are moving forward, great, we're here. The way you demonstrate that is you click on the links in the description below. You should also subscribe to this channel so you'll get notification when we're going to be going, because these are actually live. You could join in. The third thing is you do what you promise to do. You keep your commitments. You decide that your reputation is important to you. You decide to build your personal brand. And if your brand is built upon I'm a liar, then, it's not really going to take you very far. It's like Diet Right Cola versus Pepsi or Coke. Sure, it tastes great, but you're only going to buy it if A, you love it, you can find it, or B, there's nothing else and you're desperate. So that's that. Now it's 10 minutes, 54 seconds. We're kind of sort of out of time, but I want to get to the Seth Godin traffic metaphors. The traffic metaphors. So these are things that we use. Your mileage may vary. So we'll make a statement and then we can use the traffic metaphor. Your mileage may vary. So in other words, the results might not be the same for you. Speeding up to get to a red light faster just wastes energy. Okay, so what is that? Speeding up to get to a red light faster just wastes energy. Why push yourself? We're all going to end up at the same place anyway, man. Honking doesn't make traffic go away. True. It might make traffic get out of your way, but it doesn't make it go away. Kind of a road rage thing, right? That's less than a month. Lucy graduates. One of the worst ways to get to where you're going is to always drive in the fastest moving lane and avoid any toll roads. The flow of traffic isn't always going where you want to go. Okay, that's a long one. I'm not going to try to figure that one out. Following another car will eventually get you lost. True, because you don't necessarily know where that other car is, and the keyword is eventually. So if you just get on the road and you follow a random car, you will end up lost. Does that mean you can't figure out how to get back? No, but you'll be lost. You didn't know where you're going. If you don't stop to refuel, you're going to get stranded. True. So that's a metaphor for what? Take a break. Giving someone a chance or the right of way and letting them into traffic doesn't really slow you down that much. Okay, so that's helping other people. That's a metaphor for helping other people. Doesn't really hurt to help other people. Truth. In our culture, we give way too many resources to cars and their efficiency and not enough to pedestrians and the opportunities they deserve. That's too long for me to figure out. The map is not the territory, but a map is a good thing to have. That's a metaphor for a lot of things. The map is not the territory, but it's a good thing to have. Okay, so an education isn't wisdom, but an education is a good thing to have. That's my quick, immediate thing on that. Acceleration is overrated. Persistence, good directions, and a reliable vehicle almost always beat horsepower. True. Okay, so that would be for getting there fast. Being first to finish is overrated. Persistence, good directions, and reliable vehicle almost always beat horsepower. Okay, so that would be an example of me. I don't really have a high IQ. I have a higher IQ than our people, that's for sure. But compared to people with a high IQ, I don't have a high IQ at all. But I'm persistent. I have good directions. And I am so reliable vehicle, let's say, my body, etc. I'm in good health and I can just keep going. So when the people with the high horsepower have to stop, the really intellectual people stop, or they go this direction or that direction, I catch up and just keep going. So you don't have to be smart to be successful. It helps, Jordan Peterson makes it very clear that the reason high IQ people win, meaning come up with the ideas, is because they get there first. And by the time the other people figure it out, they're on to the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And so the people who are don't have such a high IQ, they always end up in the backwash. Okay, but we're at our time, well over our time. So I'm going to start cutting these back down to less than 10 minutes, because I know it's a big imposition for people. It's a big imposition for our people to watch these videos, which is just another example of not really caring to get from point A to point B, kind of plateauing, which is okay. It's your life. We're supportive of whatever you want to do. It's just we have a plan to help the people who want to move forward. So if you have plateaued, please see me, talk to somebody, talk to Bo, well, I really don't want you to talk to Jason because he's got more important things to do than to talk to you about why you are plateaued and you don't need any assistance getting from point A to point B, or why we are not of value to you for getting to point A to point B. Just know that he's out there filling beds, and the beds are going to be filled with people who want to go from point A to point B, or point B to point C. And if you choose that you don't want to do that, that's okay. If you want us to help you find a place, we can do that too. If you don't want to have us help you find a place and you want to do it on your own, that's cool. May 1st is coming. Remember, yesterday was the only easy day.